would go a half inch to 3/4, somewhere in there. So
Josh,
like,
do you mind if I video just to remember?
no.
Okay, cool.
Send it to me later. I can use it. I wonder if this makes any sense after I've said it. Okay, so we're going to pretend that's a hammer. So I'm going to start by just laying this off, and you want to be at least one. So this works for different sizes of bars. So I'm going to say one thickness of whatever your bar is, overhanging onto the edge of the anvil. So that's a half inch and up. Okay, I try to go about 5/8. That's what that looks like to me. And then you want to make sure you find a good corner of the anvil, and then I'm going to kind of rock back just a little bit, and that's going to give me my first couple of hits like that. And then as I'm going, I'm going to kind of work my way up until I'm flat, and then turn to the side to check. That's kind of what these things are for. I mean, I don't know, I've never tried this before. I usually use something else, but that's just to see, because what you want to wind up with is half the thickness. So this is half-inch square bar. That's a 1/4 inch gap there, right? So I'm going to hammer this down, and then you guys can use these if you want, and then you can kind of use that. I mean, this is actually a little thick, so I should probably work on that one a little more. But
is that first hit on this angle, like at the corner, or is it above?
Okay, so I'm going to get into that in just a minute. But so that's you're going to rock down about, I don't know, so that's about 15 degrees, let's say. Don't get your protractor. Don't bother. However, it does help for the next step to have some idea of what you're doing, because the next step is going to be going over the far side of the anvil. We're going to set that at, that's about 15 degrees as well. We're going to set down here. And you want to make sure that this is just so you're going to wind up with an angle here from this step, right? You see how that's not a straight thing. It's got a little bit of a taper. So you kind of want to look at that and be like, okay, if I have two pieces, if I have my two tong blanks when all is said and done, right, are like this. I've got an angle here, I've got an angle here, then there's an angle there and there, so that where they fit together like that, right? Now, once you do a few of these, I would say you can try to make this angle and that angle exactly the same. Make them so they'll fit really tight at first. That's fine. Do not try to do that now. Certainly not with your first pair. So 15 degrees, good. Straight, also fine. The thing is, you'll notice the steeper this angle is with the set down, the more the bit will twist. Oh, does everybody know kind of roughly anatomy? Okay, no, maybe not. Bit, that's the part that actually holds material. Boss, that's the part where the hinges, it's the boss that drives everything else. It's the most important. Reins, okay? It's like horse terminology. You hold the reins, you hold the tongs. So when I'm talking about that, bit, boss, reins, okay? Anyway, so first step, just to reiterate, near side of the anvil, we're going to do half face blows down. Second step, far side of the anvil, right? And we're going to do some half face, some just right here. You're going to basically try to extend this flattish section until you get,
You want to explain what half face is?
So you're going from this to a drop.
Okay.
I thought we did.
So you're going from this to a drop is basically what you're trying to do. No?
This is, don't pay any attention to that. This is the second step, okay? So we've got full thickness here. We're just going to flatten that out.
Okay, got it.
And we're going to try for maybe a little bit of an angle there, or if you you try it and it starts going wonky, perfectly fine, just go straight. All that does is, like I said, you've got the two pieces. I just threw away the other one, but you've got that angle in the second step is going to determine how it intersects the other one, right? Okay. So we're doing all of this twice to make two halves that we then put together, okay? Now,
but you're working them in opposition.
How much, this you said has to be brought down to half. What about this section? Same half.
So everything up to this point, we want this to come down to half the thickness of the bar,
right.
This to come down to half the thickness of the bar.
Got it.
The reason we do that is because that way, when we do the handles, if you want, you can just offset them.
Yeah.
This way, everything kind of works out. So you got this should be 1/2 inch by 1/4, and this is going to be however wide you feel like. Really, it doesn't really matter, but 1/4 inch thick. So you got 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch. So in an ideal world, you'll have a sort of a square at the end, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, again, remember the boss. You just don't want to over flatten that or mess with it too much in the attempt to get it perfect. Because what's most important really is going to be the thickness when both pieces are put together and the fit, right? That's why part of why this step takes place on here, because the anvil is flat. So even if I'm all over the place with my hammer strikes, the bearing surface is going to be flat, right?
Would you recommend clamping this
No.
to keep the angle? No. Okay.
Don't clamp anything.
Okay.
It just slows you down, makes everything harder.
Okay.
It's all hot, right? This is hot when we do it, yes. And I'll show you in just a minute. I'll give you a sample. Anyway, once we've got that, next step is like this. That's another set down, right? So you guys know. Okay, so I'll explain. Set down just means like we're letting this come down below the level. Here, half faced below. This means that I'm not like if that's on the anvil, right? I'm not hitting on. My hammer doesn't land. My hammerhead doesn't land all the way on the anvil. Not all the way off. It's right in the middle. So I'm trying to get the middle of my hammer over the edge, right on the edge. Okay. Yeah.
And all of these are half face strikes, or
Not exactly.
Okay.
You'll see. I mean,
Okay, we'll see.
We'll see.
All right.
But anyway, so then the third step is another set down like that, and you're gonna have. So it's you're gonna see it matters like if you're not quite centered on that corner, maybe just like 3/4 of the hammer is back here. That'll still work. If they're directly centered, that'll kind of make this kind of want to rock down a little bit more. But ultimately, that's if you can land perfectly flat with your hammerhead, which I'm pretty sure nobody here can do, myself included, then you can land perfectly flat like that, and it should just kind of swoosh one side, right? But it's not going to happen. Okay? Anyway, so that's step 3, right? Step 4 is the worst step, which is now I'm going to try and hammer all of this down. I'm going to take out as much mass as I can to make my handles. Okay, and that's we'll go over that in a bit. The other option, going from this to that. Yeah. So it's a lot of the handle is a lot. Yeah.
Is every step progressive? Like, don't move on to the next one until you finish.
No, you can go back and forth if you feel like you need to. I just will say the main thing with all of this is do not go overboard on your thinning out process. Okay? Even if it's like a question of like, okay, I've got a really good, I like my surface here, I like my relationship. This is just a little too thick. That maybe you don't fix it. Maybe it just stays that way. Yeah. But give yourself, like at every stage, I'm going to do this for a while, and I'm going to check. If I'm a little bit over 1/4 inch, that's good. Because I know I'm going to have to, like this might be, like that when I get done with my next phase. I'm going to have to smack it and work it down. You didn't pay for this. You're just getting free learning. You're not experts. No, you're fine. I'm messing with you.
I'll send you the video too.
Yeah. Anyway, the point is, if I leave myself a little bit of thickness in the bit, same with the boss, right? Then when I come back to correct stuff, I'm not also thinning this past the point of utility, right? Because there is such a thing as too thin. Okay. So that one, basically what I did was I got to this point, got fed up, I didn't want to make the reins, so I decided what to do was I would just take a piece of 3/8 round
and attach it.
And attach that there. And this is just MIG welded and then forged. Ordinarily this would be a forge weld if you're doing traditional blacksmithing. We can't do that here, so I just MIG welded it. But I just wanted to show you guys that's what you can do if you wanted to, be a wuss. No, I do this all the time. It's just six.
Work smarter, not harder.
Well, there's that. Well, if you wanted to work smarter, you would just buy a pre-made one, right? We wouldn't even be here if we were working smart. So this is 5/8.
Oh, okay. So we're using half.
We're using 1/2 inch. Oh yeah.
Carl.
I've got some of these here. We can learn about how to rivet tongs. I pre-made those. So the rivet for these just a piece of 1/4 inch round. You want to have, so for a rivet head, right? You want 1.5 times the thickness of the round. Okay, make sense?
Yep.
So if I'm gonna do this, I wish I had something which I got. If this is sticking out from both sides, I want to have the amount of stick out be 1.5 times the thickness of my rivet. About
Thickness of
the rivet.
the rivet. Oh, okay.
This is 1/4 inch thick, so I want it to stick out 1/4 inch plus half 1/4 inch, 3/8.
So basically, it's this plus.
Plus 3/8 on either side.
Got it. Okay.
So these are 1/2 inch, because I'm assuming you're all going to make these perfectly, right?
Yes.
You're gonna have exactly 1/4 inch plus 1/4 inch. So that's 1/2 inch plus 3/8 plus 3/8, 1.125 inches. That's just the ones I've got pre-made. They're a little bit, if they're a little bit long or a little bit short, it's fine. It's not a
Did
big
you
deal.
make brass bushings for us to go inside?
Not yet.
Stylized.
Next week, maybe. Okay, so let's, those of us who haven't cut parts, let's cut parts, and those of us who are ready to go, let's start heating up.
Is this 2 feet?
Can we go grab?
So
That's 1 foot.
So we're gonna do that one, and then we can just flip it around.
You can flip it over
Or
to
you
the
can
other
cut
one, or
it.
you can cut it off. By the way, guys, I'm pretty sure this material that we have here is
That for the camera.
so for the first one, for the first set of these that you do, it might be beneficial to do one step, well, step 1 on one half, step 1 on the other half. It might be.
Okay.
I don't know. The thing is, what I'm trying to do is, we have bad 1/2 inch tongs here, and you guys didn't bring any, I'm assuming. They're just, I've tried it a few times, and I've just found it's almost not worth it. That's why I'm saying 2 foot long, you work one end and the other, just flip it around.
Oh, okay.
Right? So if you want to do, if you want to do like one thing and then the other, you're going to be losing a lot of heat doing that. The other option is to cut it in half, use a pair of tongs, and you can do 2 at once, whatever. Honestly, I think everybody here is probably going to wind up with 1/2 that's not so great and 1/2 that's
The
decent.
second one's going to be better.
Right.
Actually, what we need is 3 feet so that we can do practice, then the first one, then do
Well, that's the
another.
other thing. So, and that's the other thing too. So, like that one right there, that piece that I've got heating up, I think that was I made this and I didn't like it, so I cut it off and I started again. So you can do that. You know what I mean? With the 2 foot piece, you can make a whole end and then decide whether you want to keep it or not. Either way, cut it off, and then if you want to weld on the reins, that's an option too.
Did you mark out spots on the anvil for your
It's amazing that you asked that because you saw me do it earlier. But no, yes, I did do that, and I'm going to show
Like
you guys
reading the
that.
witness there, but yeah.
You want me to sign now? I'm sorry. Did I sign it?
Yeah, I'll cut
I
it.
started, and then, yeah. It's okay. Because all I'm going to do right now is just kind of start that. So. Learn for free. But, yeah. But, okay, so everybody kind of get the idea. I'm just going to make a little mark here. I'm going to say, so remember I was saying 5/8 is about where I like to start. I'm going to find a corner I like. Right? These anvils don't have perfect corners, so find a spot that's good. Just mark, that's 5/8, right? And I'm just going to make a little line here because I don't really care anything else. I just want to have some reference, right? Next, we're going to go to the far side of the anvil. So this is the side that's close to you. When I say near side and far side, I'm not talking about like from the north or something. I mean to you. It can be either side, okay? So near side, 5/8 or 1/2 inch or whatever. Far side, I'm going to take this, I'm going to make a mark. I'm going to go 15 degrees, okay? I'm going to do another one at 30, just so you guys can see. But 15 degrees is the ideal, okay? Then, I've got these things here, right? So you guys can use that if you want, just to check, that's fine. The other thing you can do is just find a spot where you know isn't going to get used, let's say, and just use this. You know what I mean? Just like make a couple of lines. And that way you can just kind of check, okay, am I getting close? Right? Don't go crazy. But those are there for you guys to use them. Okay, but does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah.
Because that way, it's just a reference, it's not must have. That way when I come out, I can start, I'm level, and I'm going to go up to my mark, and I'm going to rock back a little bit to hit right there over the corner of the pan, coming up a little. Like if I want like a softer shoulder, find another spot. Keep checking. Find that out, check that way. Right, and that's kind of smushed it back. Do a little more. So I've got my shoulder now, right? So I can just kind of set this down, come up to the shoulder, I can feel it, and then measure anymore. I've already got my spot there. That's looking pretty good. So I'm a little bit wide, you know. I'm gonna probably try. I'm probably for the first one. Let's say we'll bring that back in. So our goal is to wind up. About, if you're using 1045, you can't work it this cold. Okay, just remember that. Just heat it back up, come back out. And you guys should be heating up your work pretty frequently as well. It's much easier to do it on a hot piece this small. Don't feel like you have to get everything done in one heat, despite what YouTube says. Let's say our goal is just to get that should be on there, but pretty, you know what I mean? Like I can't quite get that on there. Right, so a little over a 1/4 inch, and then we just want these sides to be flat. Okay, and that's just going to make everything kind of work out later. If you want to, let me check it. Like if I look at this from the side, I can tell that that's a little high, whatever. But let's all get to that point. You can make the marks on your anvils. Do it later too, whatever. But let's all do that. Just like make a mark at 5/8. Okay. Make a mark. You can use one of those squares. Just a reference that you know approximately where you're going to do it. And just let's all get to this point and then regroup. Okay?
Yeah. And you want us to do just one end?
Just one end.
Okay.
Okay. Once I'm going to come up, I'm going to make sure I'm looking down the edge of the anvil, right? I want to make sure that the mass of my bit is over that. So I've got my little shoulder here. It's going to be, you don't want to quite go like that. But you know what I'm saying? It wants to be kind of right in the crotch is where you're looking. Then, again, I'm just going to tilt up a little bit. Not 15 degrees, just a hair. I'm going to come down right there. Right? That establishes my angle. Now at this stage, I can still kind of adjust that a little bit. Well, you can always adjust it, but it's easier to do that now. But I'm just going to kind of stick with that. I'm looking at my line. I'm good, whatever. Right there. Okay, now you see I was drawing too much, so I got, it's too cold now, but that's fine. So I can come back and kind of straighten that out if I want. There we go. So remember I said you want to leave that a little thick, right? I don't know if you guys can see that exactly. You see it's kind of, since I'm at an angle here, that's going to make this piece want to do that, right? So you kind of have to check. So I'm just going to, when it's really good and hot, I can just come back to the first position, right? And tilt like that. Just come straight down and it'll twist.
Should you be adjusting it as you go along versus waiting until the end so that you don't have as big an adjustment?
Well,
so you're just making slight changes along the way?
Yeah, I wouldn't do it, like, you wouldn't try to do anything major until you're totally done.
Okay.
Well, if you have to do anything major before you're totally done, then, I don't know, whatever. Don't go crazy and try to make every step perfect.
Got it.
At the same time, if something's quite a bit wrong, it's going to make it harder to do the rest. But it's, let's not overthink it. I'm just going to go like this, right? And then I'm going to wail on this for a while. And try and spread that out within it. Because this can be wider. It does sort of make things easier if you come back to a 1/2 inch here, just for measuring purposes. But it doesn't really matter how wide that gets. Okay, does that make sense? We're worried about thickness mostly. But does everybody understand what I'm saying? We should be done with this. I have a little extra thickness to fix stuff if I need to. Come over here. There's my 15 or my 30. I'm going to tilt up just a hair. Get one good whack there. Check and make sure that's going the way I want. Then come back, really wail on it. Okay? The next step after that is this. Okay, and that's another step down, another halfway screw. way to remember is like, you always start the near side and you're always rolling the bar towards your tong hand. Okay? It can get confusing. I know it doesn't seem like it could, but it will. You want to make sure you're this way. That's your step down.
And then the other one, you'll roll the other way? Oh, it's all the same.
Two identical halves.
Got it. Okay.
All right?
Yeah, good to know.
Right here, this corner, right? That wants to be all the way on the flat. Understand?
Oh, okay.
I can't have any, you know what I mean? Like, it's sort of like this edge is in the middle of that dent, but it's really important because if I've got this, you know, if my step down is onto that shoulder, you won't be able, nothing's going to be able to close. Does that make sense?
It should be or it shouldn't be on the shoulder?
Sorry?
It should be on the
All
shoulder.
you got to remember is, look from this side.
Yeah.
That angle needs to be.
See that corner right there?
Yeah.
That needs to be, when you hit down, this needs to be on the anvil face.
Okay.
It can't be there.
Yeah.
It can't be in the middle.
Right.
It has to be on the anvil face.
Yeah, got it, yeah.
Let's move that up a little bit. Now, somebody was asking me, how do you know how far back to set for the next step down? And that's, I'm just going to find my comfortable width here. So I'm sort of angling my hammer back a little bit to get, this is going to be heavier, right? The back side towards you is intrinsically going to be thicker. So I'm just kind of doing that. But that's about how wide I want to stay, let's say. That's about 3/4. That's fine with me. So I'm going to start here, about 3/4 back. So you're just going to keep that the same distance, basically. Okay? And I'm just going to go, again, far side, right there. Okay?
And you're always rolling towards your tong hand.
Right.
Got it.
Start this way. If I want this, imagine this is a big tube, I want to roll it, it's got to go this way.
Got it.
The angle wants to be, you know, my hammer hand and my tong hand have to meet in the middle, so this is angled towards my left hand. You shouldn't have to think about it, because if you're doing this, you're not doing the right thing, okay? It should be natural and easy. It's the same thing if you're left-handed. If I was making a left-handed pair of tongs, I'm doing it like this.
Got it.
Right? So, you got that. Now I'm just going to kind of thin that out, but then, you know, I'm not going to worry about getting this to the finished dimension, like the thickness to the finished dimension yet, right? But I am going to come next bit and then here. Set that down. I'm trying to just keep if that's 3/4, I'm going to try to keep that 3/4. Okay, got it?
Yeah, that I'm starting to get confused. The more turns we do, the more confusing it gets.
This is going to be sort of ideally the same as what you started over here. Your first step establishes that angle, right? So your last step should be about the same angle in an ideal world. But we're going to fix the Gauss later anyway, so just, you know, whatever. Find a good spot that you're comfortable with.